Hello, this is Gallon Gamer here, and welcome to another Locomotive Review, where today I'm going to be reviewing the BR120 by Roco. So, without further ado, let's get right into the unboxing. So, they have this nice box, which here you can see the details on the end. Well, the part number, I guess you could call it, is 36 to 30. And you can see all the other details there, like the running number and the operating company, which is the East German Railway Division, basically. So, let's get right into it. And these boxes, which I can talk about for a second, are quite... I don't like them, to say it that way. They slide open from the bottom quite slowly, so if you're not careful and don't pinch it, then there is a possibility that it's going to drop and fall into the floor and break. So, let's get the locomotive out with these nice plastic sheets. Well, this single plastic sheet. So just open it up, pull it upwards, and here she is. I'm going to take it out, hold it up to the camera. This is a really nice model. And now, to show you all the details, I'm going to put it in front of the nice white background and talk about the details and then continue with the history of the model. Around the front of the locomotive, there are some nice lights which do in fact work, and there's a whole host of other fitted and molded detail, such as wipers and a handrail on the front. Then the buffers are nicely molded, but there is a quite large gap for the coupling. The windows on the side for the door and stuff also separately fitted. And with that, moving on to the side of the locomotive, especially the bogies, there is a whole host of molded detail on there, such as springs and leaf springs and axle boxes, which don't rotate, but you don't expect that. Then you can barely see the pickups if you look close enough, and if you look through the windows, there is interior detail. Then around the other side of the locomotive, there is a lot of separately fitted detail, such as a cab, which is also on the other side, and nicely printed stuff. And then around the roof area, there is ventilation and exhaust, I'm assuming. And that concludes the details. So now it is time to show you, or read to you, the history of this locomotive. And now for some history. 378 of these locomotives were built in the locomotive works in Luhansk between 1966 and 1975. They had 200 horsepower, a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour, and weighed a whopping 115 tons. They were propelled by a diesel-electric drivetrain, which was quite new at the time. These locomotives came with a two-stroke diesel engine, sporting two large turbochargers. The first 177 locomotives did not come with a muffler, which earned them the nickname Tigertrommel. They remained in regular service until 1995, when most of them were sold off to other countries, but some survived in Leipzig and could rarely be seen in front of goods trains. And in 2011, the last one was sold to Poland. And I believe this should conclude the history. So now it is time to move on to the performance of this very gorgeous model. Okay, now with the history and the details out of the way, we can move on to the performance. And as this is a new layout, well, not really layout, a new setup, I'd say, there is no more set of troublesome points. So, I've just set it up here where, basically the entrance to the fail yard. So I have now gone ahead and turned on the lights, and, let's check out this thing's slow speed crawl. And it is DCC fitted, so it won't go as slowly as it could, but that is as slowly as it will let me go on the controller. And that is pretty decent. That would be a nice slow coupling, and it is super reliable at this speed, even with 2 entire axles of the 6 being taken up by traction tires. So there's only 4 axles or 8 wheels that pick up, which they do by the flanges. So let's run this thing a bit further to the overpass thing there at where the guy is that controls the switches or points. Let's run it over there and stop, and then just flick it over here and switch this switch as well, and run towards the camera now. You can see the lights, which are nice and bright. And now at a bit of a higher... Actually, no, let's like crawl over that. That is as slow as it will go over those points, and it doesn't stop. It's super reliable, and the lights don't even flicker. Let's continue a bit faster towards the camera. And onto the entrance of the field yard. And, yep, no issues at all. So with that out of the way, let me set it up with the train and start the running session. Alright, I have now attached her to her train, and let's turn on the lights and set her off. And as you'll see in the shot when it continues, she's pulling a rather large rake of coal wagons. So let's just casually set her off. I think that just about does it. So now it's on to my ratings for this locomotive. Okay, here are my ratings then for this very nice locomotive. The price at 144.90 euros is a 4 out of 5. It could have been a bit cheaper, but then again, the detail is very nice. So onto the performance, that is a solid 5 out of 5. The crawl is very nice. It does never cut out, lights don't flicker, solid 5 out of 5. And as well as realism. Details were super fine, there was interior detail, lights worked, and I can't see anything wrong with it. So that makes an overall score out of 14 from 15, and that is a really good score. So with that, I'm gonna say thank you for watching. That was it. I hope you tune in to the next reviews, and bye.